Yes, that's right. Here we are, all ready to go. It is I, Christian Blatt, joined by the one, the only Jeff DeRay, here live in the chat, streaming. Hi, Jeff. How are you?
I'm all right.
Yeah, good. The It's great because there's a ceiling fan flickering around the light behind your head, and it definitely no. Well, yeah, but I was gonna say it looked really creepy. I kind of liked it. It's like I don't know, some kind of evil Halo. I don't. Maybe that sounds like maybe that's what are those called?
I don't.
I don't.
I don't have an Xbox, so I've never played Halo. I can't help you there.
Can't help me there. Well, Jeff DeRay is here. Will Sterling's coming up momentarily. We're trying the StreamYard again. And so far, so good. However, I am about to add Will Sterling, and that's where the trouble will probably come into play. Not because of Will Sterling, but because there will be 1, 2, 3 of us at that point.
Oh no.
And as soon as there's more than 2, I wonder, is it going to be like last time? Because what I'm referring to is for those of you who saw Bladtcast 375 and you watched the video version of it, you were treated to like 20 extra minutes because of lag time, crosstalk as we call it in the business, and it was just really awkward. So I spent a few hours, I whittled it down, and then I think it turned out really well. But anyway, that's the past. As our friend Z often says, we don't talk about old shit. We're not here to talk about old shit, except some of the oldest shit out there. We're going to talk about Star Wars because for our friends in the East Coast, it's Star Wars Day. Will Sterling, happy May the 4th be with you, at least on the East Coast.
Hi, May the 4th. Are you on a delay again, or are we normal? What's happening?
I mean, we're live. I don't know. Do you hear me delay?
No. Do you hear me delay?
No, you sound fine.
My question is, last time we did this, you were several seconds behind, but it sounds like you're on time now. I'm also really drunk, Christian, so maybe I'm a couple seconds delayed.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that because I have a 12-pack of Yingling.
Who sent you a 12-pack of Yingling?
Well, I've had it. I bought it, and I saved it for a rainy day. And I looked around.
A 12-pack of Yingling?
Yeah, I looked around at all of our lives, and I'm like, well, fuck, it's pouring. So this is the rainy day I've been waiting for.
Yeah. Wait, where did you buy a 12-pack of Yingling? I'm drunk.
At a Wegmans in New Jersey, and then I put it in my checked luggage, and I put it in a closet. It's been there for a while. We're gonna see how good this is. Rock620 in the chat. Hi, Rock620 and Popcorn Talk, the network in and of itself. Will is eating space peanut butter because it's Star Trek themed. Yikes! I already made that mistake.
No.
Star Wars themed.
Signature select peanut butter, not space peanut butter. How dare you?
So Yingling that sat in the closet for 2 years, still pretty good.
Right. I'm gonna Bladtcast us so I can read the comments.
Yeah, I can see the comments.
Wait, I just put that together. Are you killing that beer because you're Anakin? Taking on the Yinglings?
Oh.
By the way, what I forgot the last time we did this is that you can show the comments in StreamYard. So like right now, you should be able to see Rock620. He says, "Hey guys."
Hey guys.
And here's the worst thing though, because then after that, he says, "Oh wait, Z is not here. I have to go." And I'll tell you, Rock620, words hurt. Okay, words definitely hurt.
Yeah.
All right.
But if I open it up in the YouTube page, I can comment inside and say.
Yeah, you could join in and comment if you're on the YouTube page.
I can say, read this out loud, Christian.
It depends on what it says. I guess you were talking to Jeff DeRay because it says, "Hey, fuckface." But again, because it's Star Wars themed, it's "Hey, space fuckface."
Right. No, "Hey, space ace." I should have said "Hey."
And because I've shown every comment so far, I might as well show the one from Popcorn Talk as well. So anyway, because today is May 4th, at least for those in the East Coast, I did want to talk about Star Wars. And not that we've never talked about Star Wars before. We've talked about Star Wars a lot on the Bladtcast. I wanted to ask each of you, it doesn't have to necessarily be your earliest, what is an early Star Wars memory for you? Obviously we're not all different ages. I'm just older than both of you. You guys are about the same age, but Star Wars was no doubt important to all of us as we were kids. So I wanted to ask each of you, if something stands out, like as you were a kid, like, oh, I loved this, I had this Star Wars toy or whatnot. Let me ask you first, Jeff DeRay.
I think a lot of it was like I had neighbors who lived up the street, like family friends, where they were both older, and they had some stuff like some of the collectible toys and some of the Legos and stuff. So that was always intriguing to me. But I guess like a more personal memory was just that every summer, that was like a kind of tradition that wasn't intentionally traditional, but it was just like some point during the summer when I had a bunch of free time, I always had the VHS set, right? So I'd watch all the Star Wars movies like in succession at some point.
Yes, the VHS set, which unfortunately, now that we're in the split screen this way, I have a very narrow spot to use. As a huge nerd, of course, I have the widescreen versions of the original trilogy, but these are my VHSs. These are pre-special editions, so these are like the original theatrical version of all three of them. And yes, Nerd Boy had the letterbox version, but very excited. There is actually a working VHS player behind me, and there is an old standard def TV in this room as well. So I really should just hook it up, and I'll just sit and watch Star Wars while you guys, field what's going on in the chat.
You're giving us a hum. Yeah.
Our friend Rock620 points out that the original Star Wars is the first movie he saw in the theaters. I've told this story on the Bladtcast before, but I have a very vivid memory of going to the drive-in with my dad and him being super annoyed because I had to go use the bathroom. And it was during the re-release of Star Wars. So it would have been summer 1979.
I love that you guys saw the movie and was like, God damn it. I mean, the one time, like, we're so used to seeing everything instantaneously, like 9 months after it comes out, that your dad was like, fucking son of a bitch, I gotta deal with you and you gotta pee and whatever, but like, I'm just trying to see the scene where Han shoots Greedo, and you're proposing that Greedo shot Han first, and I can't have that.
No, the way that history has been rewritten, my dad was like, God damn it, he made me miss McClunky.
Yeah.
So I mean, obviously you're understanding the times before you were born correctly, that, my dad would have seen it probably once in the theater, the summer it came out in 1977, and then seeing it again in the re-release. That might have been the second time he was ever getting to see it, and then probably didn't see it again for a while. Eventually it started airing on CBS like once a year, and that was a big deal. But so I remember seeing that, and my brother's 5 years older than me, so he had some of the toys before I did. And then all of our toys kind of got mixed together. But I do remember like going to see Empire Strikes Back in the theater. And I remember that the back wall had the logo for Empire Strikes Back painted on it. And now if you look at that theater, the back wall is several ATMs. So, and if anybody's wondering, it's a very cool old-timey theater in Suffern, New York. So Will Sterling, we've talked many times on the Bladtcast about how you have seen, or you saw The Phantom Menace in the theater 8 times?
8 times.
Now, I feel like that's probably not
the personal record. Never seen the movie in the theater more. The closest that we got to this was Man of Steel, which I saw 6 times.
Right. Not 8 times.
Question.
No.
Quick question on that one. Yeah. Obviously, we were children at that time. So did you force like the same parent to go with you every time, or did they have to like split it up, or did you force other adults into this situation? Like how did that work out?
It was a very elaborate system. So I originally saw it with my brother. My parents paid for the tickets. We saw it. I loved it so much. They paid for us to see it a second time. Then I convinced each of my parents individually to see it with me. So I saw it with my mom, I saw it with my dad. That makes 3 and 4. Then all of my friends in elementary school who were behind me, who was the fucking hype man of this movie, telling everyone to see it, was like, we got to see it. You love it so much, you should come with. And I was like, you're fucking goddamn right, I should come with. So they invited me. So their parents paid for me to go see it. So basically, my parents only paid for it 4 times out of 8 times, and other people's parents paid for it the other 4 times during this moment.
And because you were a kid, you paid for it 0 times.
Correct.
Yeah. Let's see. I was 23 when that came out, and I paid for it 3 times because it's a Star Wars movie. I was excited. And like, there was one theater that had the digital projection, and that was like when that was a big deal. There were only a few theaters in the country, and one of them happened to be in Secaucus, New Jersey. And I'm like, I'm going to go see it again. And I don't remember it being any different, but so I do believe Attack of the Clones is the only one I've seen in theater just once.
Me too.
I didn't even.
Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. Only once. That's it.
Yeah, actually, neither Last Jedi nor Rise of Skywalker. Now that I think about it, whereas Force Awakens, I saw a second time. I saw with you, Felix. Yeah. We brought Felix.
Yeah,
we were the two gay dads at the Mommy and Me movie. So nice. That's a happy memory.
Even though I love The Last Jedi, only saw that once in the theater, and only saw what's it called? The End of Skywalker, Skywalker's End. The Skywalker Takes a Holiday. What's the last one called?
National Lampoon's Skywalker Vacation.
Thank you. I saw that one only once as well.
Yeah. So, important question if we're going to talk about Star Wars for as long as we can.
Oh God.
Who's the biggest badass in all of Star Wars? Is it Darth Vader? And did the answer Darth Vader change after Rogue One? Will, you seem to be convinced that it's Darth Maul, even though he's in 9 minutes in that movie?
It doesn't matter. He's fucking dope. He's got a double-bladed lightsaber. He's fucking awesome. He's got spikes in his head for fucking no reason. And then for no reason times 2, he's in the tantalizing scene of the Han Solo movie that's not going to go anywhere because Disney's like, we have no idea what we're doing, and also COVID. But anyway, Darth Maul is the fucking man. He's the only reason Episode 1 is cool. Episode 2 and 3 suck because there is no Darth Maul. Basically, Darth Maul is everything. I'm eating peanut butter by the spoonful, you guys. And I'm saying
that
the only other thing that's just as cool as Duel of the Fates is the Darth Vader sequence at the end of Rogue One, even though I don't like Rogue One. So
the Darth Vader sequence is pretty badass. Jeff DeRay. Actually, there's a... Go ahead, Jeff.
I was going to say we should call him William Sparkles because he's all about let's go to the Darth Maul. Friggin' loser.
Let's go to the Darth Maul.
Anyways, what was I going to say? I don't remember.
Biggest badass in Star Wars. Is it General Grievous? Is it Count Dooku?
I don't think it's
It is Watto. Yes, it is Watto.
Maul is actually really cool. To Will's point, and since he doesn't know this, there's like a cartoon show that they did another season on Disney Plus of called Clone Wars. Like the original seasons were a while back, but it's actually just a scene with Darth Maul fighting this main character in that show, and they did like an amazing job. It was like one of the best scenes I've ever seen in a cartoon ever. They used like actual mocap for it. They did all this like intense stuff. It's really well done. So,
wow.
So this was one of the recent episodes on Disney Plus, Jeff?
Yeah, it's supposed to go in tandem with the events of episode 3, actually. So it's like there's literally like a point in one of the scenes in an episode like past where it's like so-and-so tells him like, yeah, actually Anakin murdered Dooku. And she's like, you did what? And so it's like everything's playing out simultaneously, like they all met up and then split up. And that was essentially supposed to be the beginning of episode 3, because this is the Siege of Mandalore, which they've referred to but never shown.
Got it.
Ryan, who I know from AfterBuzz, he produces Marvel Movie News and some other shows I do. He's a very big Clone Wars guy, and every week he's telling me how great it is, and I'm like, yeah, look, just as soon as I catch up on the seasons 2 through 6, I'll check it out. But it's going to take a little while for me, unfortunately.
Yeah. There's a lot of filler episodes and garbage because it was a kids show on Nickelodeon. So sure. I'm sure there's a list out there that it's like the essential episodes.
So he made a list of essential episodes, Ryan did, and then there were 45 episodes on it. I'm like, no, you can't be essential.
That's a lot of
that's a lot of that's a third of the episodes though.
Yeah. Right. And I'm just like, that's just not being able to pick favorites.
If I made a list of Doctor Who essential episodes, it would not be 45 episodes. That's way too much.
But I think the idea is that these are all meant to be major story fillers. Originally George Lucas was working with the showrunner to get in all the stuff he never could fit into the movies. The Wills are in an episode and stuff like that.
Oh, the Triumph of the Wills. Yeah, so Triumph of the Will Sterlings.
Thank you. Yeah, the Will Sterling underscores, yeah.
Just a bunch of clones of you saying exterminate.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if you were going to give a 45-hour viewing assignment of Doctor Who, it would just be Voyage of the Damned 45 times. I mean, because, why would you not want to see...
Those 40 whatever episodes are 20 minutes. So it's you got to think it's a third of the time in hours. So it's still 10, 11 hours, but that's not nuts. That's one season of fucking Ozark, which I'll sleep through.
Wait, did you say you'll sleep through or sleep through?
Sleep through. I do not. I find that show very interesting personally.
I haven't seen any of it, but I hear both of those. I hear that it's either the love-hate show, you just adore it, or it's oh, this is the worst thing I've ever seen.
No, I'm sure it's good. It's just one of those ones that doesn't do it for me. It's just too much of a slow burn. I just don't care.
Title this episode the one in which Will is just constantly eating and drinking literally anything. I feel like there's something always happening.
No, it'll be the episode where there's always something in Will's mouth.
That's right. Good for you. Good for you.
Good for you. But Jeff, in terms of Netflix and binging, I think you're just still in mourning for BoJack, right? I mean, just nothing's been able to touch your heart since then.
No, I don't know. I don't think I've watched anything that's BoJack level good. There's going to be a new show by one of the creators, Justin Roiland, one of the guys who does Rick and Morty, so that might be interesting. There's a kind of interesting show on Netflix that's just this guy Duncan Trussell's podcasts repurposed into these animated episodes, but it's usually real big talk. The first episode is him and Dr. Drew talking about legal weed and over prescribing and his positions on things, and then in this world that they create, they're shooting off zombies. So it's they record extra dialogue to make the visual story make sense, but it's all the majority of it is just repurposed stuff from the podcast.
It sounds like something that I would do, repurpose things from a podcast or for a podcast.
Wow. So your audio is so good, Christian.
That's because I am literally eating this microphone.
That's some ASMR.
Is this better if I eat this microphone? What if I'm
No, because that microphone doesn't even seem to be turned on.
Or is it, well, it should be because it's plugged in.
Yeah, but you don't sound any different when you talk right into that, which is funny because you guys both have
But you can hear me. You can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you fine. No, you sound the same.
Oh, what the fuck?
You guys both have multiple high-powered microphones, but
this is not a high-powered microphone.
It's not. How many do you have in your house that you could be using right now instead of eating peanut butter?
Do you want me to go get the setup out and plug it in?
I don't know. Not now. Not once we started. I don't know.
The peas will start popping.
Excuse me. Es-
I don't have a
es-
good enough windscreen.
excuse me. I have 0 USB microphones, so I can't use anything. So peanut butter is the next fucking best choice to
You
doing
know,
anything.
Will, you're so
Does it
drunk
have to
that
be
you would
USB?
think we were. Will, you're so drunk that you would think we would be about to talk about the Oscars.
It's 9 o'clock. It's 9 o'clock on a Sunday, Christian. God damn it. I'm drunk.
Fun
That
fact,
doesn't make it.
What?
you
Today's
can
it's
repurpose the mic from Rock Band to use as a USB microphone because it plugs into the USB.
Well, Sunday's the Lord's Day. I don't know that 9 o'clock on a Sunday. By the way, like the week starts tomorrow. So like this isn't the night to be drunk. Last night was the night to be drunk. Friday's the night to be drunk.
I've been working before we logged on editing ads for tomorrow's shows. So I've been working even while drunk.
Look
Yeah,
at you.
Yeah. Isn't that
Jeff and I work for the same company. Jeffrey, you know what I'm talking about. We kind of don't ever
Yeah.
not work. Yeah.
well no, but that's the
Had a
beauty
really
of
frustrating week.
the beauty of working
redo
from
podcasts
home.
twice.
You had to record a podcast twice, you said?
Redo it. So
Oh.
twice last week, I completely finished an edit and then had the host go, actually, I want to use this other one. And then instead of telling them to go fuck themselves, I had to do it. So that's
Yeah.
I want to ask you who that was, but we can do that off the air.
You could do that. You could do that off campus.
Yeah.
The sometimes there's something to be said for somebody who hosts a show and then as soon as they click off their microphone, they forget everything they did and don't have any interest in following up with anyone involved in the process. Sometimes there's benefits
Yeah.
to
Well,
that.
we can't all see that barn, Christian. So
I have seen that barn. I've done a show from that barn. I like the barn's very nice.
the barn
It's very
is.
nice.
I've been in the barn. It
Yeah,
is
you've been in the barn too.
incredible.
And
There's
that's the
literally
barn.
there's literally a barn. There's actually a barn, and it is unbelievable. Honestly,
It's-
I can't actually. When I went to the barn and I saw the estate and I saw where all this was built. There is not a world in which I could have fathomed that Saturday Night Live money and stand-up money could have bought this fantasy, but it did, and so.
Also,
I'm wrong.
five Emmys years on HBO money.
Well,
You're forgetting that money.
Well, no,
And
I
there's-
mean, like,
I thought
of
it was
course.
O'Reilly appearances.
Everything.
Yeah, there's
in
O'Reilly
general.
appearances. There's also Bordello of Blood money.
You're right.
Isn't there like a thing where every time he's on Bill, he has to let Bill touch his butthole and then he gets paid out? Like, isn't that a... No.
I don't even understand that, Jeff. I don't even get what you're saying there. That's one thing that I've learned from people. That's that used to happen all the time on O'Reilly when Dennis would tell a joke. He was like, Miller, I don't even understand what you're talking about, when he didn't want to comment on something. He's like, I don't even know what that is.
And now it turns out the thing he doesn't want to comment on is you as his girl Friday.
Hey, Guy Friday. Come on.
I'm sorry.
My gender is the only thing about me that's not fluid.
You're right.
Isn't Friday the name of AI in Spider-Man suit?
I should apologize for being drunk on the Bladtcast, but I can't. It's too late. We're in COVID. Everything's happening.
Not only is this not the first time, this is not the 10th time that you've been drunk on the Bladtcast.
Whoa!
I have been drunk on the Bladtcast, but not that many times. It was there's a few though. There's one like after we saw Ace Frehley, we recorded at your house. There were we did like 3 episodes in one night. We were celebrating my 40th birthday and we just kept drinking. So by that third one, forget it. By the way, Sam Whitfield is in the chat and he says, hello, gentlemen.
He's here.
Sam Whitfield of the Whitfield Report. Sam Whitfield, you can share any Star Wars memories, your earliest Star Wars memories. That's what if I was smart, I would have asked this question on Twitter instead of thinking of it like 60 seconds before we went on the air. I would have asked everybody what their earliest and favorite Star Wars memories are.
I got a question.
Yeah.
Sorry. Since we're all nerds, what's the most recent, like, not the Star Wars movie, Star Wars thing you consumed, be it a comic book or a novel or like another type of video? Okay.
That's it. That's all I got.
Yeah, Mandalorian would be it for me.
That's all I got.
But Jeff,
So y'all are
you're
basic
keeping up.
bitches.
I'm definitely a basic bitch. Although I will
It's fine with me. To me, honestly, The Mandalorian is a fucking perfect. I have wanted something outside of the Skywalker bullshit, blah 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 blah, forever. And then we got J.J. Abrams, who was like, "Hey, we're gonna do this whole derivative bullshit, boring thing," and we saw the fucking what do you call it, Force Awakens. And the Force didn't awaken; it was already awakened, and it was a repeated copying of a Force that was already awakened, and they did that. And then The Last Jedi came out, and I was like, this movie's really great because it's bucking every tradition, and it's really shaking things up. And this is also making Christian angry because he doesn't like The Last Jedi. But I think that's a really wonderful movie. And then I saw the Fall of Skywalker, the Rise of Skywalker, whatever the last one was. I saw that, and it was
Van
fine.
Skywalker.
Yeah.
With Ryan Reynolds. Van Skywalker.
Van Skywalker. Right. I saw the Elder, the Kiss album of the Elder version of a Skywalker movie. Maybe 40 years from now, I'll like it more. But I was like, this movie fucking sucks. But in and around all of this was the Mandalorian, which was just really a perfect show. And they played it like a Western. They played it like a old Henry Fonda, Jimmy Stewart, Man from Laramie kind of thing. And people took umbrage with like, how could he train all those people in that village in one episode? And I was like, it kind of doesn't matter. You're missing the whole point of this thing. Honestly, I love The Last Jedi, and people will fight me to the death on this, but truly the best thing to come from Star Wars since The Return of the Jedi is The Mandalorian. That's the best Star Wars thing.
I'm not going to fight you on that because I think that's true. That I think that anything that happens after Return of the Jedi is all stuff we didn't need. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
exactly. It ended in a great way, and everything else is like, okay, sure, you can tell these stories if you want to, but I think Mandalorian is better than to say it's better than the prequels and the sequel trilogy. That's not going too far out there. I mean, I don't know. I mean, the enjoyment level I had for the Mandalorian is definitely much higher on anything else. In any of that time. And I'm not gonna fight you to the death or even just to fight on The Last Jedi. It's just we have very different opinions of it. There's two camps when it comes to it. There's the people who are like, that's the only good thing that's ever been made in any film ever. And then there's the rest of us.
It's the best Star Wars movie since Return of the Jedi. So
since the first Jedi.
First Jedi. And by the way, just to show that I'm not entirely a basic bitch, I did reach behind me. Now I showed some of these off at the end of our last episode. You guys were gone, but would a basic bitch have Ewoks issue number 8?
No, there you go. You proved
it.
Actually,
no, a basic bitch would absolutely have that because Ewoks number 8. Why do you have number 8? Why don't you have number 1, bitch?
Because I have the entire run.
Then show us the entire run. Oh, you fucking...
You know what? I'm gonna mix it up.
You whip these bitches out. Oh, Secret War.
Chronologically, the first appearance of Spider-Man's black suit.
All right, your dick is big, Christian. We get it.
No, just my comic collection behind me is big.
Are we showing off how nerdy we are? I have special grips on my PlayStation controllers.
I don't have a front-facing camera to show you my wall of horror movie art.
I love that.
Wait.
Yes. So let's see. There's a few questions. Some of them are on topic, so I'm going to try and go to those. Will's trying to show off what's on his wall. So first of all, I didn't realize he was in here before, but Ryan Nilsson of Popcorn Talk, producer extraordinaire for Popcorn Talk and AfterBuzz. He's a Last Jedi apologist, just like Will. He loves Last Jedi, so he was talking about that. And now, hang on, Rock 620. Rock620 is a hashtag me too, except he means me too to what Ryan had to say. So there are those of you who feel that way, and then there's those of us who would rather read Ewoks number 8 than watch episode 8. So that's just where we're at, though. It's fine. We can all love Star Wars and we can still all be friends. That's the beauty of it.
That's cool.
And
gender equality.
Sam Whitfield points in. I forget what Jeff's question was at the time, but he says, to answer Jeff's question, I replayed Knights of the Old Republic. Oh, so that's like, nice. What's the last Star Wars thing you did that wasn't watch one of those movies? Mm-hmm.
It's a dope RPG game. I have not played it, but I have heard many good things.
Yeah. And Ryan says, no apologies. The Yoda scene in Last Jedi I do like because it's puppet Yoda. If they had done CGI Yoda, I would have been able to enjoy it. I would not have been able to enjoy a CGI Yoda. It's puppet Yoda. It's Frank Oz's voice. That's all I need. And he does highlight that it's the final lesson. But look, I'm just saying I didn't like it. It's all right. I like you guys. It's fine. It's just, I don't need to convince anybody of anything. I just know that I didn't like it. But well, let's just say what Will had a string of tweets. There is no such thing as a Last Jedi apologist. Just as there's no such thing as overtraining, only under eating. And then you just wrote the word therefore.
I'm working on my final statement. So just let me have this. Let me craft this.
Somehow, by the way, the peanut butter is oozing through your comments. I don't quite realize. No. It's like all over the screen, Will. How did that even happen?
I'm literally so strong that I could fucking crush anything if I wanted to.
This is why I don't want to talk about The Last Jedi, because now Ryan is saying the Leia scene, Princess Leia mysteriously flying through space in a way that has never been explained nor acknowledged.
So I'm actually going to leave
my women having force powers.
I'm just going to leave my comments unresponded to, so it ends therefore, and then everybody else has to interpret my love for The Last Jedi. Yeah. There is no such thing as there is no such thing as Last Jedi apologist. Just as there is no such thing as overtraining, only undereating. Therefore, nothing. And then
you nothing.
You figure it out. America, you figure it out. Ryan, what's his name?
Sterling.
What's the hack? What's his name? J.J. Abrams, you make another loss. You make another loss.
Well, you want to talk about apologists. Ryan Nilsson is an apologist for Lost. And Nilsson? I like the guy in the chat right now. Yeah. The producer for AfterBuzz and Popcorn Talk. We have talked a lot about, like, he will not stand for my Lost blasphemy, how it's really like all the way up to like the last hour of the series. I loved the show. And then like the second part of the 2-hour finale was such garbage. It made me hate the entire series. I still hate Lost now, so
only because my other problem is I just want to know.
Okay, wait, you're both talking at the same time. Jeff, you first.
Sorry.
Jeff first.
I just want to know why that room created whatever you wanted. It was never explained. There's not enough explanation.
Fair question. What were you going to say, Will Sterling?
I'm eating peanut butter. I'm not sure.
I know you're eating peanut butter, so you can't talk. So wait, is it like when you give a dog peanut butter, so now your jaw is stuck shut?
So keep the memory of Dave the dog alive. Is a peanut butter. No. What I was going to say is nothing, actually. Go about it. I'm drunk, Christian. It's
what that is called is that's a
Sunday.
That's a Will Sterling. That's a Will Sterling. Therefore,
Yeah. That's exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And by the way, Sam Whitfield says Will's haircut is jarring, and the funny thing is that Will went and shaved his head kind of like the week before I was going to do it. I was going to do it during one of these. So I'm thinking of going the other way and just
I love
never cutting it, just seeing what happens.
Yeah. I commented on your post on Instagram. I was like, I'm just here for your hair, Christian. You got to let the hair go. Yeah. And we have had so many Kiss live tweets. You got to grow that hair out. You got to do your best. Eric Carr, you got to get your best little. You have a boyish face. You're so young and youthful. You got to get that like sweet Eric Carr hair going. Just grow it out. Just make it big and poofy.
Yeah,
And
I don't
I
know.
will Paul Stanley-esque yell and comment about you in public and say like, we know people see him as a little boy. People want to mother him. But he is the host of the Bladtcast.
Let me tell you something, people. Let me tell you something, people. That kid had the longest fucking tongue I ever seen.
That's right, people. He has the most beautiful, childish baby face you've ever seen. And if you were going to eat an ass, you would never eat this ass because it's too young for you. Yeah.
Will, have you had enough to drink that you might be able to find our friend Watto over there and have him come visit with us?
You never.
Not yet.
Never. No. Never.
That's too bad. All right. Well, we'll see. Maybe you'll find somebody else over there. I think
we get these. Titus Welliver is the only good part of Lost.
That's why I put that up there because you're a Bosch guy, so I thought you.
I am a Bosch guy. Yeah.
And Sam adds that Bosch is his best role, so he's giving a shout out to Titus Welliver. Titus Welliver's in like the last like 2 episodes, I think. Right?
I was going to say Titus Welliver's in Lost. I was like,
at the very end. Yeah.
I'm only gonna watch whatever Titus Welliver's in. Not the actual show.
He's the black smog.
He's the polar bear.
Earlier, Sam had a question. Have you ever been high on the Bladtcast? And I haven't, and I don't know if Will has, but there's somebody here who may have been once or twice.
I have for sure, but Jeff has been high on the Bladtcast no times. 0 times.
Smokers are jokers, guys.
Yeah, that's right. There's that one episode you guys did without me after Lucy was born, and I think you guys just talked about weed the whole time. I don't think you were actually high.
No, we were not.
Talked about it the whole time.
We talked about drugs, and we didn't actually do any drugs. It was kind of a bummer, actually.
Yeah. Well, we had the beginnings of our plan. You know, we were gonna take our mushroom trip out in the desert, but now every part of that seems like it's problematic. Although I guess getting mushrooms would probably be easy right now.
No, listen, I have a plan in store. If you guys want to go out to Joshua Tree and take some mushrooms, Christian, bring your kids. Well, Aaron, no, listen, here's the thing. We're going to Airbnb a big house. Hey. Don't fucking laugh at me, you guys.
Hide your kids, hide your wife.
Hide your kids, hide your wife. We're going to Airbnb a big house. Big house.
Sure.
We're going to stay there for at least 2 weeks. And if nobody has any symptoms,
then what happens after those
I'm trying to give the perfect symbol, but it's like not in the right.
Isn't that like a white power symbol nowadays?
Oh, is that? What if I do it as like a Birdman under this? If I'm like, Christian!
That's double white power. That's
That's
literally
In the same episode, he talked about how he refuses to bring Watto back on the show.
Yeah,
he flashes the white power symbol like twice.
It turns out that I thought the Jews were wrong the whole time, and they were right. So, what are we going to do?
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy. You would say something.
Wait. Log this as a thing that was totally inappropriate and not a good thing, but kind of a funny joke. And if I get canceled for this, the whole internet can know that at the end of the day, it was kind of funny.
The funny thing is, Will, this is Bladtcast 376, and there's like 370 of them were not live. And so in one of like the handful of live episodes, you said that. So I can go in, I can scrub it. I could take it out. I could take it out of the audio. I will not do any of those things, but I mean, I could, but it's still already out there. We've already got the people watching now who have seen
Sam Whitfield is already responding to my joke. And it turns out that at the end of the day, I'm drunk and I'm a piece of shit, so come at me. I won't be famous for 20 more years. The Will Taraj is picking up steam, but the steam is like a slow churning steam, and it's going to be like 20 years from now. And 20 years from now,
steampunk?
Huh? What?
Do you have to dress steampunk to be in your entourage now?
Yeah. The Will Steampunk Taraj. is what you're going to have to do. And when that finally picks up steampunk tourage, you're going to have to dress accordingly. And Bryan Cranston will be our grandfather, and everything will be fine. So,
although he did not save his wife in Godzilla.
He did not. She died. She did die.
Yeah, she did. Yeah. Bringing it back to Star Wars, earlier Sam said this a good 10 minutes ago, 12 minutes ago. Sam said, my earliest Star Wars memory was the I am your father reveal. And it reminds me that I saw Return of the Jedi before any of my friends and before anybody I knew in school. And I was a one boy spoiler alert. I was telling everybody that Princess Leia was a sister. I was so excited. I'm like, no, he really is his father, but not just that. Princess Leia is his sister. I was just so excited that I knew this. And nobody, I don't know, just people didn't, we were like, 8? So nobody really took it badly that I was spoiling it. But I was very excited to tell everyone that Princess Leia was his sister.
Can you imagine if like some uncle had like brought his nephew or something, like his brother's son, to that movie, and like at that scene just like nudged him and was
wait, we just had like a religious experience. What just happened? There was a big harmonious echo, and then it fell, and then Christian just rapidly put his headphones on and took a sip from a beer. The angelic sound.
So, Will, did you put anything in your drink? Did you like roofie yourself so that you can take advantage of yourself tonight?
Hey, let me tell you, honestly, it's 9:41 Pacific Coast time. I've been drinking since 12 p.m. Pacific Coast time. It's called quarantine.
Are you saying Pacific Coast time?
Yeah, Pacifico time.
Pacifico time.
It's called quarantine. Hashtag quarantine.
You'll appreciate this comment from Rock620.
Drunk and a piece of shit too.
Yeah, Rock620 wants us to know. And Rock620, the fact that you're here for a live Bladtcast, it does illustrate that you are a piece of shit, but you're our kind of piece of shit, and we appreciate it, and we thank you. And again, Zia's not going to show up at any point, but we appreciate you still sticking around anyway. But so
I'm sorry if I ruined the Bladtcast by being a drunk.
No. You've ruined many more episodes when you were sober.
Stop it. That's really mean. I want to leave now.
No, words hurt, but that's all right. You know what words hurt, but you know what else words do? Words hug. Words can hug.
Just remember, Will, I'm in this episode, so you know you haven't said the dumbest thing.
Go ahead, Jeff.
I said I've spoken in this episode, so you know you haven't said the dumbest thing.
Well, Sam Whitfield says, cheers, Will. I'm drinking Guinness. So,
And by the way, joining us now is Farad Muhammad, who has like a cool cartoon avatar of himself. He says, good evening, gents. You haven't missed much, Farad, but Will is 9 hours of drinking deep, so keep that in mind. And Farad, if you want to share any Star Wars recollections, I don't even know if you're a Star Wars guy. If you hate it, tell us that too. And if your favorite Star Wars moment is Wrath of Khan, tell us that as well. I really appreciate that.
My favorite Star Wars moment is the time that they went back in time to save the whales, to bring them back. And I think that lady from Step by Step was in the movie, or maybe she was.
Did you know there's actual time travel in Star Wars?
Well, I don't know.
Oh, wait. Are you saying that there is time travel in Star Wars,
At
Jeff?
the end of the day, they saved some whales, and the whales ended up being some sort of conduit to David Tennant saving Billy. What's her face?
Billy Piper.
Billie Eilish, the singer.
Yes.
Having a meltdown, and it turned out that in the end, Matt Smith pulled a Lewis Capaldi, and they had a major hit single, and everything was fine in the end.
I just stopped talking because I wanted that to go on as long as possible. But I would like to watch a Doctor Who with Billie Eilish as his companion.
Yes.
Here's an interesting take from Farad Muhammad. Oddly enough, my favorite Star Wars experience was seeing Episode 2 in the theater.
No.
It was a midnight showing, and the audience was pumped. But how
Ah.
disappointed was that audience after? Like mid-movie, when it's Hayden Christensen dragging Natalie Portman down to his level with "I hate sand." You know, I mean, it's.
Ooh.
I mean, I can't think of anything worse that ever happened to Star Wars than that sequence. And there are movies that I don't like. I mean, the sequence with Hayden Christensen and Natalie Portman at Lake Como in Italy is worse than every minute of the Christmas special.
The Christmas special is honestly the best thing next to Empire Strikes Back. So
Right.
we're gonna have fighting words for this.
Yeah. And Sam Whitfield says Slave Leia is my favorite part of Return of the Jedi, just being honest. That's a generational thing. Return of the Jedi, it continues to be my favorite Star Wars movie because I will always remember how excited I was to see it as a child. But also, oh, wait, Farad Muhammad, following up on that thought, the audience was laughing during those moments. Yeah, it's hard not to laugh. I think we shouldn't live tweet Attack of the Clones, but we should live tweet those sequences. We should just like find out what minute it is.
Attack of the Clones.
No, I just want to watch. I just want to do like 8 minutes of the two of them talking. I just want to like, or you know what? Maybe we can reenact it. Will and I and Jeff can do stage directions.
I would like to do that. Yeah, let's do that.
All right. See, everybody wins. Jeff, you were trying to say something, but Will was going on about.
How dare you? Fine,
what?
fuck off. I have to text you. It's fine. I'm drunk. Fuck you guys.
I'm surprised that your little rambling rant about previous doctors on Doctor Who, you didn't talk about current Doctor Forrest Whitaker.
Wait.
What?
What?
Isn't that right? Forrest Whitaker's the doctor now, right?
Is he?
Yeah.
I haven't seen Doctor
no, sorry.
Who.
Her name's Jodie Whittaker. I'm sorry.
Oh, I haven't seen Doctor Who in a year and a half, so I don't actually know what's happening.
So as soon as it became a female doctor, you said you'd stop watching.
No,
All right, good. Glad to know where you're at.
I saw the first season with her. I just didn't see the special and the new season.
Okay.
I like your weird smiling face, like you got me in a corner of being a sexist, but it turns out that you're the sexist.
I mean, I'm not pretending that I'm not. That's the difference. By the way, which one of us
deal him that Uno reverse card?
What's the most rewarding thing for me is that me being drunk is an absolute wild card, and I can just do and say whatever I want.
Yeah.
It turns out, as long as I don't say anything negative about Jeff, because we all know if I said anything bad about Tom Brady and the Patriots.
Oh, he doesn't care anymore.
Yeah.
He hates them now, remember?
In a fisticuffs match.
Yeah.
You should say something bad about Jared Stidham, then I'll come after you.
Jared Stidham?
Jared Leto.
What?
Jared Leto.
How dare you?
Jared Leto's a bitch. His version of the Joker fucking sucks.
He's still the best Joker we ever got.
It's fucking lazy.
And a tattoo on his forehead that said damage. That was brilliant.
It's hackneyed bullshit. You know that, Jeff.
A couple comments here. Rock620 says that if we did a dramatic reenactment of those love scenes from Attack of the Clones, we couldn't do any worse than they did. And Sam points out Will's better looking than Hayden, but not Natalie Portman. Natalie Portman after the baby? No, Will might be more attractive than Natalie Portman after the baby.
I have a V for Vendetta shaved head, so Sam, reconsider what you're thinking because I have a sexy shaved head.
Will, your drinking is definitely a wild card because when I checked my Magic 8 Ball before we went live, at no point did it come up with the option, Will says something anti-Semitic. Like, I just did not see that coming.
I didn't say that, Christian. You said that. Come on. Put words in my mouth. Donald Trump says that liberate Michigan, and that's basically all I'm trying to do.
There's no Jews in Michigan.
I'm not. What do you mean Jews? What are you putting words in my mouth? Liberate Virginia. That's what the president said. I'm just trying to keep with the people. Keep with what the people like. You know. Liberate
You
San
have Dwight
Francisco if
trying to
Mark
appeal
Wahlberg
to
is there.
What were you going to say about Dwight Eisenhower, Jeff?
that he's trying to appeal to anti-Semitics. I like Ike.
Not. I actually don't. Funny enough, because I'm drunk enough, I actually don't remember what I said. So I need someone to tell me what I said live on Bladtcast. Repeat.
Don't wait
what
for
I
the
said
translation.
back to me. What did I say? I actually don't remember what I said.
It was something along the lines of like, yeah, Hitler had some good ideas.
That's not at all what I said. No, there's no way.
Oh, yeah. I think it was something along the lines of like the only thing bad about the final solution was that there wasn't another solution for after that. I think that's what you said.
Sam, who's listening? Sam Whitfield. What did I say? Send it back to me in the comments so it's on
I actually
record.
don't know if Sam was in the chat at that point.
Was he not?
But I do know that it was at like the 38-minute mark because I made a mental note because I am definitely going to put that in the end of the audio version.
Well, great. It's on YouTube. That's Florida. That's what he said. Go Bucks. That's Florida. That's not at all what I'm saying. So it's fine.
Yeah.
He's from Milwaukee, I'm assuming.
He is talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah.
He meant the Milwaukee Bucks.
I mean, sure, we can say that, but I feel like we chased away Farad Muhammad. He was here for like 8 minutes.
Fan.
He's saying he was talking about the Milwaukee Bucks. So, all right. Shows what I know.
Got
it. Jeff, other than how much trilogy, but how much non-Star Wars movie, Star Wars stuff do you have? Do you have a lot of video games? You still playing that? Wasn't there a game on your phone you were playing for a while? Is that still, or is that over and done with?
Yeah, I quit that a while ago. It was just got to the point where it wasn't even fun anymore. And it was like I was doing it because I felt so obligated to do it because I'd been doing it for so long. And then I just kind of had that realization, like, I'm not enjoying this at all. So I was like, and delete. And I just moved on. As far as Star Wars stuff, I guess I've been watching the Clone Wars. I have a game, but that came out a while ago that was really cool called Jedi Fallen Order. It's about this like Padawan who basically escaped after Order 66 and then is living as just like a mechanic because he's completely severed his ties to the Force. And you go through the game. It's just like an exploration game for the most part with a little bit of fighting. And it tells this whole story about how you learn about his master, you learn about this other chick and how they were captured by the Inquisitors and like tortured by Darth Vader and how awful like all that kind of stuff was. And there's this other lady who basically she was a Jedi and had to tap into the dark side to escape. So she's all like super torn up by that. It's a really fascinating story. You go to a couple places, including Dathomir, which is where the Night Sisters and like Maul came from.
And what game is this? What's it called? I mean,
Jedi Fallen Order.
Okay, I've heard of it, but you know I'm old. I don't play games.
It's one of those ones where it's like they totally like capture. There's like an actor. He was the guy who played like the Joker character in that Batman show. He's like the main character, and it's like they completely digitize his face, and it's him running around in the game. That's this Cal Kestis is his name.
Oh, so not Cesar Romero. I was getting confused.
Yeah.
You know, when you were talking about how you kept playing the game, you were like, I don't even know why I'm still doing it anymore. It must be out of obligation, but I'm not having fun. I really thought you were talking about the Bladtcast for a second. You know, like why? I don't even know why I'm doing it anymore. Like Will's just here because we have an open bar. I mean, that's really why Will does the show.
I'm actually like trying to get ahead on some work tomorrow, and I'm like responding to emails and texts. It's fine.
So, do you think that anything that you're writing right now might be constituted as hate speech, or is that just what you say out loud?
What did I say? Say back to me what I said, Chris.
I don't remember what you said.
There you go.
It was something. It was something about the juice, though.
I'm gonna get fired and canceled and fucked over for something.
Yeah. So Farad says that he is still here. He was going to say more about Star Wars, but the conversation took a weird turn. That's an understatement. But he says he has the Vader Immortal games for VR, and he gets to use the Force and lightsabers, and it's awesome. Yeah, Farad is a big VR guy, and I have a friend who has produced like a VR sitcom, and she speaks a lot of things, and I've seen a few minutes of it, but man, I don't understand that world. I guess we all need the helmets, and then that's how it works. But I can't participate in VR. I need to like go to someone's house that has it. So Farad, I'll be over in the morning, and we can play this Vader game.
Can I say that the best part about being in quarantine is that there's no rules? So it used to be that I felt bad about being drunk when we made podcasting. And now it turns out that, like, honestly, like, you could burn a house down and people are like, oh, you're having a hard time in quarantine? I get it. It's so sad. You're burning a house down. That's why. And I'm like, that's what I'm leaning into. It's just being whoa.
We're 55 minutes in, and I finally realized that I could rearrange the way that we were showing.
And it completely changes the shots. And now I gotta fucking adjust.
Oh yeah.
Like, wait a minute.
But the whole show, my dumb nickname was cut off because I wanted to call myself Master and then parentheses Bader, Bladtcast, and you couldn't read it.
And now it turns out an hour in, it's just stupid.
Yeah, it's just like I was just staring, and I'm like, oh wait, there's like several different ways we can do it. Like there's also that way. Look at that. Hey, it's me. Oh. And then you guys are little. So I don't know, but well, that one didn't take. So
help me out, Christian.
Yeah.
No, other side.
Oh, wait, it's the other side, yeah.
This is working. Oh, wow.
Oh, and we laughed. We had fun. Anyway. And Rock620 says, by the way, that it's much better this way. I agree. So I will remember to do it this way whenever we use StreamYard again. Look, I think this was much more successful. There's two things. We don't have four of us, and sometimes five, like we did on that show. And then obviously Dominica Saxon was like trying to come on that show, and listening back to the audio version of it, it's that much more sad because we don't even see his little emoji like trying to connect. It's like we're pulling a fast one on him. Like, oh my God, yeah, Dominica Saxon, please come on the podcast. Psych, we don't really want to talk to you. So he tried. But I think the connection has been a lot better. It's been a lot better like this. And also I'm using a different laptop. I'm using my other laptop. So I wonder if that has anything to do with it. Farad says that the people of the Bladtcast need to be seen in widescreen. He's right. This is a much better aspect ratio. We were in pan and scan format before, but I think this is good. Will is just doing some hand signals.
They've been in this.
Yeah. This is a great time to announce that this is the beginning of a big week for the Bladtcast. Don't worry, you guys don't have to do anything else. But it's what I like to call the big Bladtcast binge week. There's going to be 5 episodes of the Bladtcast every weekday this week, counting this one as a Monday. So I'm going to see, can I wear out my welcome?
Wow, that's a whole lot of work.
Yeah. Exactly. So we'll see how everybody responds to there being that much Bladtcast. Is it too much? Probably, but we'll see what happens. I thought it would be fun.
Are you like re-releasing them?
I thought that I would make a joke and say like, I'm not part of these, and then I'm not here, and you're like, yeah, actually, I had this whole big cool thing built, and now I feel like an asshole.
No, I'm just I've already done 2 of them, so that we're 3/5 of the way there. So just going to be one new episode each weekday, and they're interviews that I've done, a couple of the others. One of them with Matt Sinkowitz, who's been on the show before. He's a media studies professor at Boston College, and we talk about bad date movies and good date movies. Also, worst movies we ever saw in theater. Believe it or not,
what are the
Attack
teasers?
of the Clones is not one of the worst movies I've ever seen in the theater. It's just not good, but it's not one of the worst. It's not that level of bad.
What's the worst?
You're going to have to tune in, but it's Aloha by Cameron Crowe for me. Yeah.
Is that really? That's really the look. That's the one.
Yeah, because I thought it was a different one, and then I remembered. I'm like, wait, I saw Aloha in the theater, and that was really bad. So let's see. So yeah, and then I'm going to talk to my friend Lauren LaGrasso, who's a musician, a podcast host, and also we used to be on the Tomorrow Show together. So you got 5 Bladtcasts this week. And I think we're going to finally have our we're going to celebrate May 4th the way that should be. Later in the week, we're going to have our Star Trek Picard episode. So, that's how we celebrate. Farad Muhammad says, oh, yeah, I don't even know if it was about this. Sam Whitfield says, yay. Rock 620 in the honor of his birthday on Sunday. So wait, yesterday, well, technically still today for those of us here on the West Coast, May 3rd was Rock 620's birthday. So happy birthday. And Sam Whitfield, this is what I love about Sam Whitfield. He says, never too much Bladtcast. I am probably the only person who would agree with that sentiment. Like, I don't think Matt and KC would agree that there's never too much Bladtcast. I don't think
he's not even here right now.
Well, I didn't invite him, so that's part of the reason why he's not here. Yeah, and I think David Hines definitely wouldn't say that because his re-listen of the Bladtcast really stalled around episode 110. Like, he kind of threw in the towel at that point.
There were
he
267
episodes in
more episodes.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess there's like 266 more for him to listen to. So, yeah.
Wait, how many? What episode is this?
376.
Okay. All right. Okay. He's fine.
And Rock 620 clarifies that next Sunday is his birthday, which means that it's Mother's Day. So you don't celebrate your birthday. All right? Don't celebrate your own birthday. That's my advice to you.
Yeah.
Will Sterling, what have we learned on this May 4th Star Wars themed Bladtcast that we did today?
I don't know. I pulled the pin out of my phone. It turns out, Christian, that I was really drunk today. And what could you expect from somebody in week 7 of quarantine at 9 p.m. on a Sunday night? That I'm trying to keep it together, and you could ask me any question you want to ask me, but it turns out that I'm pretty intoxicated. So, I don't know. I think it's fun.
I have a question for you. Who's a better lover, your left hand or your right hand?
You over my ex-wife, if that's what you're really getting at.
No, I didn't say who is less cold. That's not what I asked.
Oh well,
did you ever call her Nicole?
Wait a minute! You had the bell this whole time and you only rang it now?
No, I rang it like 10 times, dummy.
When?
When you were talking about different minority groups that you hated.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go back and listen to this podcast because apparently I said something really bad about Jews and I didn't mean it that way. Turns out I just ate peanut butter for half of this episode.
Store brand, by the way, which I like. I appreciate
it is Bond's signature select signature. Listen, they're running out of everything. Toilet paper, peanut butter, who knows? Mother's Day always steals my birthday thunder. Well, if you were born on Mother's Day, then you blame your mom. That's her fault. That's not your fault. What's your name? Or okay.
You ruined your mom for your dad.
One of my in real life friends has a crush on Zia. Had to disappoint him by telling him that she's married. Oh no! Well,
Yeah. Well, also disappoint your friend by pointing out that she's a worthless twat. But anyway, besides that,
wow.
uh, well, I'm gonna send her that clip. It's fine. So, Will, you didn't learn anything? Is that the point?
I thought this was like a Star Wars podcast, and it
It
turns out that I was
was.
like, really drunk, and we just talked about nonsense for like an hour. But I'm okay
Yeah.
with it because
Oh,
that's par for the course for the Bladtcast. Listen, if you got a Kiss thing going, I'm 110% there. It turns out that on a Sunday at 9 o'clock, if you want to talk about Star Wars, I'm drunk.
but if we talked about Kiss next Sunday at 9 o'clock, then you'd be drunk for that.
But
So,
I'd be the kind of Ace Frehley drunk that he was on the Tom Snyder show, and you'd appreciate that.
yeah.
Exactly.
So yeah, by the way, that's the only talk show appearance that's worse than the one that Joaquin Phoenix makes in the Joker movie.
Ha, ha, ha! I'm gonna text you right now and ask you what did I say that was
I
like
don't remember. I have to go back and listen. I really don't remember.
it was bad. I do remember it was bad, so we got to cut it out. It's already on the theaters, but we got to.
No, it's actually not that bad. Farad says it's also par for the course on Star Wars. That's true. I mean, Lucas was drunk during most of that stuff, I would say. I mean,
Yeah,
definitely the prequels.
for sure.
Yeah. It seems like they don't know what the next move is for Star Wars, because they're allegedly done with the Skywalker family, and there was going to be, they want to do the Obi-Wan show. They have this Cassian Andor show. They have all these
The
shows,
Obi-Wan
but
show. That should be the opening of it. Like it should be like a late night variety show, but it's the Obi-Wan show. It's the Obi-Wan show.
Obi-Wan Coast to Coast.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
oh my God,
exactly.
what a great idea. I love that.
Brack.
I can't remember the other guy, Zorax, I think. Yeah, I mean, I love the Space Ghost. Good point from Farad Muhammad. Joaquin Phoenix and talk shows apparently don't mix. That Letterman appearance was kind of legendary. Sam Whitfield has an offer for you, Will, that you guys could do a drunk cast where you guys really pound back. And Farad would actually like to announce that show. So I think that maybe we've just made a love connection here.
Well,
I think if you add more K Wilson.
Oh, wait, what did you say?
I said if you add one more K Wilson.
That's like that's a racist joke. Jeff, you remember when I ate 3 edibles on your table and then I drove home? And then 4 blocks from my house, I realized how high I was, and I texted you and I said, "What did I eat?" And you were like, "You ate weed brownies," and I was like, "Oh shit!" Well, that's what the premise of the show would be. It's Zorak,
Yeah, but
by the way.
you just thought, yeah, it was Zorak. You thought that they were regular brownies.
I did. They
Yeah,
were
to be
tasty,
fair.
and they in no way did they taste like weed at all. And I listen. I like edibles. Funny enough, I like taking edibles more than I like smoking because I've learned to base my tolerance. I know how to work it. I know little microdosing. Jeff's girlfriend Natasha's helped me with some of this. I've been at 2.5 and the 5 and the 10, and I'm working my way up. Turns out, before I tried any of this, by accident, I was at a party at Jeff's house. There's a plate of brownies on the table, and they were delicious. And I ate 3 of them, and they ended up being weed brownies, but they didn't taste like weed. So then I had 2 beers at the party, so I was like, I'm fine. So I'm gonna leave. And then I get halfway home at a stoplight, and I was like, I've had 2 Bud Lights. I should not be drunk, but I feel strange. And then I was like, whoa, I'm high. Why am I high? And then I was like, oh shit, I ate those brownies on the table. And then I texted Jeff and I said, were those weed brownies? And he was like, yes, but they were mild, so you should be fine. But the joy of this was that I went home and I was so high that I realized that I got accidentally high. So I recapped an episode of Frasier where Frasier's dad takes a weed brownie instead of Niles, who's supposed to eat the weed brownie, and ends up super high and tells a funny story, and I recap that whole episode. And I think that I'm done. I'm done. It's over.
What I love about that story is that it was clearly directed by Quentin Tarantino, because it started and then it circled back, went back to the beginning, and then went back to the same part we'd already heard, but then it went a little bit further.
It's
fine. It's a little bit of an inside reference here, but Sam Whitfield says, "Will Joey Diaz Sterling over here?" That he has a Niles being fake high was hilarious.
Who the fuck is Joey Diaz?
Joey Diaz has a podcast.
Oh, comedian. Yeah.
You know who he is, right,
I
Jeff?
know the Joey Diaz here because, like, comparatively, Will's talking about taking 2.5 grams. I took 200 grams the other day for a mild dose.
Wait. What?
And
what?
Kilograms, I'm sure.
How did you feel taking those 200 grams?
I was fine. I got all my work done.
Grams or milligrams? So when I take an edible,
milligrams, sorry.
5. This is 5.
200 grams.
So I took 5 milligrams THC. You took 200 milligrams THC?
Mm-hmm.
So you're me times 195. I don't do math. So if I took 5...
My tolerance is you times 200%. Or 2,000%, whatever.
See, my interesting thing is that I've sworn off edibles because of the unpredictable nature. I've had just one time too many where I just just the result was one time I went to Halloween Horror Nights at Universal, and that was definitely a mistake. So that was the setting. So I did it again after that, and then that was the real mistake. But what were you going to say, Jeff?
I did. The one time I messed up was I had this muffin. This was back when it was all medicinal, and I went to a shop and I bought these muffins, right? And they were like, "Do not eat more than a quarter of this in one go." And I was like, "Okay." And I went back and I ate the whole thing, obviously. And then I rode my bike to the mall, like bought some sunglasses. Was feeling pretty good. Got back home and was still feeling like pretty good. And then it just like hit me like a wave. I just like collapsed on the couch and like turned green, ordered pizza, fell asleep, woke up for the pizza, ate some pizza, fell back asleep, and like slept for the whole weekend. So yeah, you can definitely go too far.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to buy some acid and we'll see what happens.
So you're gonna drop some tabs of acid before the next time you're on the Bladtcast?
Listen, I'm just at home. What else am I gonna do?
Well, I was gonna say this before, that it's kind of the beauty of everybody working from home. It's really hard to make the case that we can't be drunk at work. If we're able to get our jobs done, why can't we be drunk? We didn't have to drive drunk. We're not gonna hurt anyone other than ourselves.
Thank you. I'm gonna get some mushrooms. I'm gonna do some mushrooms and try to work at the same time.
Nice.
Can you save some for us? I don't mean that we'll take them with you. Like,
if you've been isolated by yourself for 2 weeks, let's do them together. I'll come over to your house.
No, I have children, so I am completely incapable.
No. We'll put your kids to bed. They'll be sleepy, and then we'll do the
for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So you want me to put my kids to bed for 14 days?
For 2 weeks, yeah.
I love that idea, by the way.
Soon though, because Tosh and I are talking about moving back to Boston this summer.
No, come on.
No.
Come on. What are you talking about? She doesn't want to live there.
Let's do mushrooms on Friday, Jeff.
Okay.
We said moving on Saturday.
I'm just saying, I gotta get it in while he's there. Jeff and I gotta.
What inspired this?
I don't want to incriminate myself, but everything you're saying you want, I have. Far from me.
No. The thing is, I'm not like Jeff and I have, all three of us have talked about doing mushrooms before fucking COVID-19 became a thing. Of
course, yeah.
And so now that I feel really claustrophobic, I'm like, if you guys have been clean for a really long period of time, we should all just get together and do mushrooms. Because if nobody's been around me for fucking well over 14 days. Jeff, I know, is very conscientious about his space. Christian, I know you're very conscientious about your space, so we should just fucking do some mushrooms together and document this and have a fun COVID mushroom Bladtcast, and then we just go about our merry ways.
Well, I love that, but
there's like no danger at all.
There's a weak link in your plan, and that's your girlfriend. You do see her, so you haven't been alone for 14 days.
She's here and I go there, but we don't go anywhere else besides each other's places.
All right. Well, then that's like me having a wife, so I guess it's all right.
But I've kept that for the past 7 weeks.
Yeah. All right. No, it is the same then. I didn't know what she was doing on.
She's not seeing anybody else.
Well, because she's your girlfriend, so of course she's not.
Exactly. Yeah, she's wearing my ring and my fucking Letterman jacket, Christian. God damn it.
Yeah. Sam Whitfield chimes in that everyone drank in the 60s at work. See Mad Men. And they banged secretaries, the good old days. Yeah, I would love to bang my secretary, but one, I'm married, and two, I don't have a secretary. So
yeah, one, Jeff was my secretary, and two, he got promoted to producer, and now I can't try to bang him anymore. So it's really awkward.
What if he tries to bang you? Is that okay?
Yes. Actually, funny enough, yes. I encourage it.
Power bottom.
Yeah.
Exactly. What if I sent this clip right here to the HR at the place you guys work? Do you think that there would be a meeting for you guys right now?
You know what the funny thing is we actually have no HR, so it doesn't fucking matter.
Oh, considering a few things that I won't say out loud, that actually makes sense.
Yeah, well, there actually is no HR, so it's really wonderful. Yeah.
Farad says you had a David Letterman jacket. I missed something there, but I do have a Late Night with David Letterman t-shirt that I could wear sometime, Farad. But Jeff, what I did want to ask you is what would possibly be the reason to move back to Boston? Don't think that you're going to get out of being on the Bladtcast. You're still, especially doing it this way, you're definitely going to still have to be on. So you might as well not move if that's the only reason why.
No, we're talking about getting a house, and like property and everything is a lot cheaper out there. / I have connections for construction, so it's easier to do things like improve a property and flip it and things like that.
Okay. Well, I don't like this idea. I don't like the idea of you leaving, even though I haven't seen you in person in a while, and I'll still just see you this way. I still don't like it. I like knowing where you are. I like knowing that when I go to the 99 Ranch Market up in Van Nuys that I'm not far from you.
Here's what I like knowing. If we're all clean, we could actually technically all get together on Saturday next week and do some acid together and get fucking crazy. But nobody wants to do that.
Well, I don't know about nobody wants to do it. I just know that my wife would tell me not to come back to the house if I left to do that. She's like, "Oh, you can go and do that. Just don't come back."
She's fine. You can take a vacation. Let's go 2 weeks, 14 days.
No, pre-COVID, pre-quarantine time, she'd be like, "Yeah, have fun." But like, she doesn't want me to be around other people because, who knows? Who knows what's, who knows that that piece of mail that you opened this morning was rife with a virus,
I'm going to text you guys right now and say, let's do acid. And we'll figure it out.
You're just going to text, let's do acid?
Yeah. That's what I just did.
I got called the N-word the other day by some guy who bumped into me while I was walking.
Wait, you got called the N-word?
Mm-hmm.
Who called you nice?
I know, he's an idiot. We were walking, and we had MJ, and I have her off to the grass to the right. Natasha had her on the leash, and I was all the way on the right side of the sidewalk. And as people like to do here, this like group of people is coming that were like, "Oh no, we own the whole sidewalk and everything around it. So you please just get out of the way and stand there and wait for us all to pass." So I did my thing, which is, no, I will not. I will get all the way to the right of this sidewalk, but I'm sticking there, and I'm not like cowering and going to the side for you guys. Like, give me some GD space. Like, come on. And so I'm doing that, and then this guy basically like bumped shoulders on me, and then he goes, "Excuse me, N-word," and I was just like, I turned around and I said, "You're excused." And I don't know what he said after that, but I just turned around and I was like, "Effing loser," and I don't know why I'm not swearing, "fucking loser," and
fucking loser.
Yeah. Well, If you had said the actual N-word, then everyone would forget what Will said about an hour ago.
Yeah.
I don't actually know what I said an hour ago. Does anybody remember does anyone know what I said an hour ago?
It was literally just something like, I didn't believe the Jews before, but now, or some shit like that. You were basically implying you were a Holocaust denier. That's all it was. Don't worry about it.
That's all it was. That's it.
No, it was basically like, I don't care what anybody thinks. His art was the only thing Hitler did that was ever bad.
Wait, there was an old GIF that made me laugh, and it was like a fucking meme that was like Hitler holding a bouquet of flowers and said, "But what about all the good things Hitler did?" And then it's not appropriate at all, but for whatever reason, that makes me laugh so much because it's like it's so shitty and it's so wrong and it's so fake. But it was this perfectly executed like Hitler with like a bouquet of flowers. And he was just holding it so gently and said, "But what about all the good things Hitler did?" Which the irony is that he did no good things, as everybody knows.
And Rock 620 points out, no, yeah, obviously, we don't really feel these ways. We're just trying to help Will remember what he said earlier.
I don't remember what I said, but we'll have to watch it.
I don't think you can actually read it. Oh yeah, there it is. He said it twice.
Nice. I didn't say it twice. I said it once. I said it once, and apparently
received it twice.
I only got it once.
Well, that's because he likes me more than you. Yep, he likes me more.
Well, we're doing acid, you guys. Bladtcast 376, 374, 377.
This is 376, yeah.
372.
We start going backwards after 75 Alive.
379 is the Magic Mystery Tour.
What were you going to say, Jeff?
I have to do my favorite Hitler meme is the one where he's holding a glass of orange juice and he says, "I said glass of juice, not against the Jews."
Remember there used to be all those videos that were it was some like German movie where like Hitler is given really bad news, but they changed the subtitles so they were about things.
Like Batman versus Superman was a flop. He's like, what? What? Yeah.
Yeah. And I think those got taken down, but God, they were so funny.
They were amazing. They were so good.
If nothing else, Taika Waititi had taught us just how funny Hitler can be. Because I would say Jojo Rabbit was, I don't know, maybe one of my favorite movies of last year. Not, nothing's going to Endgame, but, it was good.
Good enough.
Do you remember there being a lot of backlash to the movie Valkyrie? The one with like Tom Cruise.
Oh, yeah.
Bryan Singer.
Was there?
I don't think so.
No, I remember that.
Hitler movie made by like known meth addict pedophile. No problem. Mallory guy.
Wait. Like, I knew that he was a pedophile, but I didn't know that he was a meth addict. Is that another layer to the story? Really?
There's, secondhand experience. Like, I know somebody who was his boyfriend who was addicted to meth for a long time.
Wait, who are we talking about? Who directed that movie?
Bryan Singer.
Bryan Singer.
Oh, so I really thought we were talking about Roman Polanski. That's why I got confused.
No, well, yes.
It's confusing.
Bryan Singer, meth addict. I had no idea.
So Whitfield reports, Sam Whitfield asks, Will, do you still have your podcast? Remember it was/is called The Motivation Report?
Yeah. It's got one more episode coming at some point when I decide. But whenever that episode comes...
When you're motivated?
What? What?
He said when you're motivated.
Yeah, thank you, Jeff. When I'm motivated, that will be the last episode of The Motivation Report, and it will become something new. But I want to do a new podcast, but it's got to be once a month, and I'm not prepared for once a month. I was going to be interviewing people and setting it up, and it turns out that COVID, strong-armed me, and now I have to wait a really long time. Heaven forbid, because everybody else has a fucking podcast, so it doesn't really matter. So let's just do acid instead.
Hey, Jeff, you have about 7 more years left on the prep for your podcast, right?
That's right. Jeff has to.
Mm-hmm. I'm just doing a lot of like research right now.
Yeah, no, that's fair. So
finding my new market.
The kind of research that Roger Daltrey was doing, where he had to speak with authorities, and he said, "No, I'm just doing research on kiddie porn. I'm not actually looking at kiddie porn."
I think what would be amazing is if this joke actually continued for 10 years, and then I was actually like held accountable and had to like overnight record something and just put it out there.
Well, I'm glad you see the end game on this, because that's exactly what's going to happen. I can see myself doing the Bladtcast into my 50s, and hopefully you guys are able to come up with a good excuse. But that doesn't mean that I won't. Even if I'm not doing it, I'll be like, I'll do one just so I'm like, hey Jeff, where is that? Where's the what was it called? The Bladtcast? I don't even remember if we had a name for it.
Yeah, what was that?
I think it was TBD. Tuberculosis balls ass.
That was the actual title, right? TBD.
Yeah. Talking about Duray.
This ball and dick.
Talking about Duray.
Sam was absolutely right. It was Pete Townsend, not Roger Daltrey. I got my members of the Who mixed up, which is fine because Will mixed up all of his Doctor Who's before.
It happens.
I love that I had to explain my first Whitaker joke, which made it not even remotely funny. That was the best part of it. Are you trying to show us your screen and what's hidden there in your messages?
No, I'm actually just fucking with my pop socket because I'm drunk and bored.
Well, to wind this down, we'll bring it back to Star Wars. Is there a favorite scene, maybe just as a kid, something that stood out, like, and you think about it now, you're like, I still love that when I see it. It's not even a whole movie. Is there a moment?
And maybe it's not Peter bike chase in Return of the Jedi.
I 100% agree with that.
That
was the first clip I ever saw from that movie. They showed like a 45-second clip of that on Good Morning America, like the week before it came out. So I just saw it on my TV screen. I'm like, I don't even know what's going on. I love every part of that.
What? Yeah, that is, to me, that was the height of special effects. There were even better special effects technically available to me when I was a kid. But seeing that on VHS tape, I was like, this is the fucking most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life. And I thought the Ewoks were amazing. And everyone who shits on the Ewoks and says, like, oh, cute little bears, like it's a bullshit Star Wars thing. No. Speeder bike chase, speeder bike troopers, and also Ewoks are a perfect cocktail for an amazing action sequence.
No, I agree. What about you, Jeff? Is there still a moment that you're like, you know what, that kind of is still perfect, or that sums up Star Wars or anything like that?
I mean, I'm going to cheat and go with two. I think the one that as a kid I always thought of and was always like really hooked on is the beginning of Empire Strikes Back, the assault on Hoth, when all the AT-ATs are coming out and they're just like attacking the base. Like that's just such a badass scene. And then they go out with those like little flyers that they have. I forget what theirs are called, and trip up the camel guys. That's just such a badass scene. I always loved that. I thought that scene was so cool. I wanted those toys, like everything. It just seemed like you wanted to be part of it. But then, you know, I was always a sucker for, and it feels cheap because it's essentially like the climax of the original trilogy, but like the Luke and Darth Vader fighting in the Emperor's throne room on the Death Star 2 with like that score and everything. It's just like when he gets them all pissed off and he comes out from the darkness and Luke's just like slamming on him and then cuts Darth's other hand off with the lightsaber. I love that scene.
Yeah, no, I think I like that we're all talking Return of the Jedi, because I think back to the moment when I saw it, but it's still like when everything looks like, you know, the beginning when they're on Jabba's palace and they're about to get all dropped in the Sarlacc, and you're like, oh man, they're never going to get out of this. And the moment when R2 pops Luke's lightsaber up in the air and then he catches it and it's green, and you're like, what the fuck? It's green. Because, you'd never seen them be anything other than blue or red at that point.
Right.
So that for me, oh my God, Sam Whitfield this is crazy. I wasn't reading that. And Sam Whitfield, the green lightsaber reveal from Return of the Jedi, and also the opening of A New Hope, the blockade runner sequence. But honestly, nothing tops this one particular sequence in the film, though. I mean, come on, this is from A New Hope, right? Yeah, it's the McClunky. Obviously, we all remember where we were when Greedo McClunkied first. I think that's really what it comes down to. And Sam Whitfield points out 1983 was a good year. As the only one who can report about it, it was an all right year. My wife was born that year.
Wait, I gotta mute the commercial.
Somebody doesn't have YouTube Premium.
I don't, and you know that.
I know.
Are we talking about our all-time favorite Star Wars moment?
You can chime in with that. It was just sort of more a moment.
Well, this one's
wait. That's wrong.
That sounded like
this one's not from childhood, but I love it. I'm never gonna give you up.
I feel like you should stop playing it because I don't want my video taken down because you're playing copywritten music.
I feel like that's just we're no strangers to love.
So basically, I turned him off because he's playing copywritten music.
So
I had to turn you off because you were playing copywritten music, and I don't want my video taken down, dummy.
My ass hurts. I'm tired.
We're gonna be done, but Jeff, what was your all-time favorite moment?
I love it when it's revealed that when Kylo's stabbing him and it's revealed that Luke's not really there and he's force projecting, he disappears in the force at the end of Last Jedi.
That is
basically just trolling.
I don't know. Was I stupid that I didn't realize that Luke wasn't there the whole time? Because I was legitimately surprised. I didn't know.
I was surprised too. You're supposed to be surprised. The whole idea.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. There's a lot of times where I'm like, oh, this was such a great surprise and a great reveal. Yeah. And people are like, you idiot. We all knew that. Like, basically to bring it back to Doctor Who, like every time that the Master like revealed that it was him in a disguise, I'm like, holy shit, that was him. And everybody's like, yeah, you stupid. Didn't you know that was him?
No, everybody's just trying to make you fucking idiot. Nobody ever knows that. They just say that because that's what they're supposed to say. That's not true.
I don't know.
I did one. There was one. I was watching the Matt Smith season of Doctor Who with Natasha, and we got to the season where the dude in the spacesuit pops up and kills the Doctor, and I like called it exactly. I was like, "Oh, that's her. That's bullshit." And she's like, "How the fuck do you know that?" And I was like, "It's just I know it's gonna be her." And that was literally the first episode, like watching it for the first time. Didn't know anything about anything. Hadn't read anything. I just was like, "It's so obviously gonna be this." But that was like the one time I did that.
Well, good for you. And as it turns out, Last Jedi was the best Star Wars movie since Return of the Jedi. So I guess we can all say it's been a great Bladtcast, and we can retire on that note tonight.
Honestly, as long as you're saying after Return of the Jedi, it's like I don't like anybody taking anything outside of the original three and putting them anywhere 1, 2, or 3.
Well,
you can't do that.
Mandalorian is up there.
Farad says favorite Star Wars moment in the films. Dark Horse vote to the first Vader breath scene in Episode 3. So Hayden Christensen being turned into Darth Vader, and we hear, although I also liked in the special. Yeah, I was just gonna say I liked the special editions when he went no. Anyway. Is that what Will Sterling's going to say when he sees and hears whatever it is that he said earlier that Jeff and I just don't remember?
Probably. Send it back to me tomorrow. It's already live on the internet. Nobody cares. I'm not famous enough yet.
Nobody cares.
10 years from now.
And what my racism
I was.
Yeah. Well,
it's okay. I was supporting the girlfriend that I love. So
huge thanks to everybody who joined us in the chat. Rock620, Whipfield Report, Farad Muhammad, all still here. Ryan Nilsson was there before. I don't even remember. We had a few other people. But I like when people jump into the chat. It's the only real benefit to doing it live. We'll do it live. Is to interact with people on the chat. Because honestly, like we had in 375, there was enough technical problems because we were doing it live. I don't know. I think this went better. I'm more inclined to do it again. What do you guys think, Jeff?
I'm fine with it.
Yeah, because you could actually see and hear me pretty well this time. This wasn't like last time, right?
This one went, I don't think the lag was bad.
Yeah, which is funny. Like in the middle of you saying that, there was like a stutter and a lag. So that was pretty. You timed that perfectly. It's like lag. So it's perfect. Yeah,
nailed it.
And of course, great to chat with Farad Muhammad, who says the one before that. Yeah, we know the mask put on for him the first time, and it takes up the entire frame. Look, that reveal of the Darth Vader mask is pretty great. Will Sterling, people can find you where, Will?
At Will Sterling _.
And how long?
At all the bars.
Not now.
Well, they can find me at all the bars when they all open, and I'll be leaving about 2 hours before David Bujenski leaves those bars.
That's fair. And Jacob Downey sure picked the time to jump in. We're winding things down, but he says, "Holy Frito-Lays, this is live." But as soon as we're done, you can go back and watch it over. You can just start it over. It'll be there. But thank you, Jacob, for being there. I know that's I don't know. I should have done a better job pumping it out, but I only really decided to do it live yesterday. So anyway, but happy May 4th, everyone.
So far away.
Jeff Duray is on Twitter at Jeff Duray and at Duray_Jeff. I think you should follow both of those things and try and get them into a fight with each other.
Yeah.
And Jacob Downey is going to watch the Crapple Jacks out of this. Thank you. And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Christian DMZ. And of course, the Bladtcast on Facebook, like the Bladtcast on Facebook at Bladtcast, BLADTCAST, Bladtcast. And as announced earlier, we have coming up, this is the big Bladtcast binge week. 5 episodes on 5 weekdays. Tomorrow, as in Tuesday, you'll get Matt Sinkowitz. Wednesday, Lauren Lagrasso. Thursday, Friday, TBD. One of those is probably our Star Trek Picard episode, but check it all out. So I appreciate everybody who was here. Will, don't ever do the podcast not drunk. Okay, it's more fun this way.
I'm your ASL translator in this moment, Christian. So
I appreciate it.
You are welcome. Irie, island time. Peace out.
Wait. Why'd you say
he didn't have enough taking on the Jewish community? He has to take on the hearing impaired now. Well,
Jacob Downey has a funny
voicemails that sound like this.
Mandela's funeral. I can't wait for someone to cancel me 5 years from now for something I said tonight. So, bye.
I just did it. I just canceled myself as well, so don't worry.
That's all right.
Sam Whitfield, go back into the thing. Tell me what I did wrong. Send it back to me and tell me why I should be afraid of being canceled. Thanks.
Well, here's the thing.
What?
I'm never going to cancel the Bladtcast. I just can't stop, even though I should have a long time ago. Even though Paul P told me to cancel it 7 years ago.
Paul P used to say that your podcast was a ham radio. He said it was. He said it was Christian's ham radio.
What a fucking old man reference that is to a ham radio.
He watched nothing but old pictures and tried to pretend to be an old person, even though he loved being a Twilight person. Anyway, your ham radio production has really evolved into something, Christian, and we all know it, and we're all part of it, and I will never not be drunk. They're here to more further on the Bladtcast. Jeff, bring the acid next time. Jesus. Fuck. Let me just adjust the collar. Right. Fuck off, you guys. God. Good night. Jesus. Fuck. Good night.
What's happening here?
I'm gonna stay and just get irate more and more just to make them laugh. 1983 was a great year, Sam Whitfield. Yes, it was. I wasn't even born, but in 1983, neither were you. So take your report and make it elsewhere. Honey Roasted Radio. Yeah.
Take your report and make it a TP report and have it on my desk by Friday.
Take your report and wind it forward a little bit to after you were born and when you could report on normal things. I'm only lampooning you because you're young, just like me, and it's called the Whitfield Report. And I don't have a Sterling report. It's called the Motivation Report, and it's another report, and it sucks, and I hate it, and I'm retiring it.
No, but
I like that you said lampooning after accusing other people of using old references. You used the reference lampooning.
See, we're gonna do a lampoon here. We're gonna go to the picture show. See, so Will Sterling, I should just have Jeff and I get out of the chat and just let you talk for another hour, and then I'll come back and watch it tomorrow because I feel like that'll be super entertaining.
No, you watch it tomorrow. Tell me what mean thing I said, and tell me why I'm gonna get canceled 10 years from now. That's all I need to know.
Yeah. All right. Well, Jacob Downey is just on fire in the chat. Thanks for coming in at the end. We appreciate everybody who joined us. Thanks to Jeff DeRay. Thanks to Will Sterling. Again, the big Bladtcast binge week started with this, and we will see you tomorrow on the Bladtcast. Bye.